Hi, I'm Paul Slack. It's Good News Broadcast. I'm speaking to Donna Hilbert. Hi, Donna. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well, Paul. How are you?
Good, good. Born in the Red River Valley in Oklahoma City, and I don't think you live there, though, any longer, right?
No, I moved to California when I was 7.
Okay. And you've grown, I guess, up in California, and you still live in California?
I have grown up. Indeed, I have. Yes, I live now in Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, all righty.
Uh-huh.
And you're an author?
So I'm told.
No, you're very successful. And you have a new book called The Green Season, all right?
That's
right. What's that about?
Well, the title really comes from two different impulses in this book. One is coming back to life after grieving my husband's death.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like being reborn again, like in the springtime, finding new love, new joy in my work. And the other green leaf, shall we say, that runs through this book is there are a lot of poems about my early married life. And so I was green in the sense of being naive and, discovering all the mysteries, I guess, of getting along in a marriage and raising children and negotiating with my in-laws who are very different from myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the two threads that the green season addresses.
Not since, what is this referred to? Not since Spoon River Anthology have I seen such a cluster of vivid portraits and scenes from American life. Deep Red, that was another one of your books?
That was another book. That was
Could be the first installment of a new classic, said Edward Field. That's a nice thing.
It was very nice.
Oh.
That's sort of daunting, but I was very grateful to Edward Field for saying that.
So, and you're involved with this Penn Center, right?
I am less involved than I was a few years back. I was vice president for programs for Penn USA West, which is sort of west of Chicago's Penn Center. And I still teach the master classes in poetry for our Emerging Voices program for young writers who don't have an access, perhaps, to a way to get into the mainstream of writing. We offer a wonderful 10-month program, and I teach the master class to the poets.
Well, let's talk about loss. Loss is, it takes you by surprise no matter what.
It absolutely does. You're living your life, and then all of a sudden, the floor drops out, or the tidal wave washes you away.
So how do people deal with it?
Well, I guess I've dealt with it in the way that I deal with everything else in my life. I just, one day at a time. And because I address everything in my life through writing poetry, I dealt with it that way. Trying to, all the time keep the joy in my life as well. Not make it, first you grieve and then you live again, but you kind of do both things at the same time. Does that make sense? It
does. Let me ask you a question. I don't know what your thought is on this. I don't know if I'm being, not, you don't have to answer this, I guess you could say. But, everybody has their belief in life and death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mine is I believe in afterlife, and I believe that, however, whatever, I don't know if I've been here before, but I don't know, but I do believe that I'll be here again, or that I don't go away. You can't get rid of me. That's what I believe. And so I'm going to come back as a bird or something, and blah, 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 and it all seems logical to me, okay? And last night I actually was up near where my whole family, grandparents, everybody was buried, okay? And so I was thinking about this last night and so on and so forth, because I do believe in that afterlife. Do you believe in afterlife?
Well, I believe, if you think of the world kind of from the perspective of physics, anything that was here still exists in some form as energy, transformed one way or another. I mean, nothing that ever was really leaves. Mm-hmm. Then I think that everything that ever was is still alive in some way. Mm-hmm. But I have no philosophy, shall we say, about how that manifests. Mm-hmm. But I'm open to it, mm-hmm. and I think I've made peace with the whole God and afterlife problem. It's by just not making it one. I've had many experiences that I can't explain, mm-hmm. and I felt my husband's presence very dynamically, mm-hmm. In dream or just in ideas that have kind of come from nowhere. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't know how to explain it or make a philosophy around it, shall we say?
Yeah, I think it's probably hard. I mean, seen, or on that anniversary day of passing, say, or a birthday day, I've seen butterflies. My sister sees ladybugs, and on our parents' kind of thing, mm-hmm. and so on and so forth. And I think we're probably not alone. There's probably quite a few people out there that have some kind of premonition, or something happens, you knock over something, or you find a picture, or something sometimes just kind of, for we don't know why, happens during that time. But I find solace in it.
Well, I do too. The first story in this book, as a matter of fact, was it's mostly a book of poetry, but there are a couple of stories. And the first story was my first publication. And it was written shortly after my father's death. Mm-hmm. And after I had come home from his memorial service, I was just curled up in a fetal position, just sobbing and heartbroken. Mm-hmm. And he came to me and kissed my cheek and comforted me. Nice. I mean, it was as real as if someone had walked from another room, some living person. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a story about it.
Could you read a little poetry to us?
Sure.
Yay! That's good.
Okay. I think that I will read a poem that, in a way, speaks to the simultaneity of joy and grief.
Okay.
It's the first poem in the poetry section. It's called Gesture.
Okay.
My hand is raised as if to wave when I emerge from the sea, mask and snorkel askew. My friend who snaps this picture thinks I'm greeting him. But no, I'm holding my sliced palm above my heart. Primitive gesture meant to stay the flow of blood. I've been tossed to coral again in the midst of bliss. Now you're snorkeling along, and all of a sudden that wave shoves you into an unforgiving place.
Sort of physics again. You kind of get bounced around out there in the sea.
Indeed.
Now you like the sea.
I do.
I think I see a picture here when Grief Becomes Me.
Yes.
Opens a window into a creative life of you. In this cycle of poems, you struggle in memory and in dream with the shocking news in the aftermath of the death of her husband, right? This is a picture of you at the beach somewhere?
It is. Is it the one in the chair? With
Yes.
The cage? That is actually a still shot from the forthcoming documentary about my work and my life.
Okay.
And that's called Transforming Matter.
All right.
And
has there been other documentaries?
No. This Grief Becomes Me was a small film that now has been subsumed into the larger documentary.
And it's a documentary on you?
Believe it or not.
What are they saying there?
Well, I haven't seen the final cut.
So what did they do? How did they do? What did they do to share you with the world?
Well, when my last book came out, filmmaker Christine Fugate came to one of my readings and said, after reading my books and so forth, said she'd like to make a short film about my work. And so the original concept was to take 3 poems or poem sequels and film them kind of like you would do a music video, but with poetry.
Right.
And then as she got into the project, she decided she would like to weave some documentary footage around it.
Okay.
And so now it's a short documentary with these 3 poem segments, and just interviewing me in my home, and kind of following me around my daily life. And so it is nearing, completion, and I can't believe it.
But it's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling. Excuse me.
Well, great.
Yeah,
so a lot of good things going on. So what's good news for you, personally?
What's the good news for me?
Yes.
Is that you can sort of start again, and start again. You know, I'm involved, in another wonderful relationship, and life is always unfolding, and I'm happy to be on the planet.
Sounds good to me. I'm happy you're here too, Donna. Thanks for sharing your good news with us.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
And I look forward to meeting you personally.
I look forward to it. I will try and connect with you in New York.
There you go. Oh, do you come in every once in a while?
Every once in a while I do.
All right, well, give me a holler when you come in, and I go out the L.A. way every once in a while, too. So,
well, then give me a holler when you do.
There we go. Okay, thanks,
okay,
Donna.
Paul. Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.